Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Get Ready With Me. Today we're gonna dive into some products that I haven't touched in some time, and specifically I want to take a look at the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. This one has been now on sale for like half price on Beauty Bay with their spring sale, and I just pulled it out again because it was part of my haul from last year, so it's 1 year old in my collection, and I am a little bit in doubt on what to do with it, in the sense that this is the color story and I do not use minty shades, and I'm very drawn to the more murky and grungy greens paired with neutrals. That's a bit how I wear greens nowadays. So I was wondering, what am I going to do with this palette? Am I going to keep it and just stick with it? Am I going to declutter it and part with it forever and be fine with that? Or am I going to depot the shades that I'm interested in, like take them out of the cardboard packaging and work with those? It's something that I really don't know what to do. And first of all, I wanted to use it again because it's been a while and decide whether it's worth my time and my makeup time. I went in with this shade right here, which is Whistle, and this shade right here, which is Corduroy, in my crease, and they went on really easily. No trouble with that. I remember liking the formula of this palette, and the only issue I had was with the shade Eucalyptus, which I'm gonna apply now, which is the same shade that was inside the Wilderness palette that they came out with before this one. And I have the same issue right now. It is a little bit patchy and it doesn't really build well on another shade from the palette. In the crease it's fine, but on the outer V it really is not sticking. And it's one shade on the 42 that are in this palette, but it's the one shade that I would reach for a lot because it's one of the more warm toned greens. On this side it's going on a little bit better, but to me this still looks quite patchy, and I went on purpose in with a bit of a stiffer dome brush. This is from Nabla, because with a fluffy brush it doesn't deposit color at all. So I am very curious. I'd love to hear your opinions on it, because yeah, what to do with a palette like this. So for example, I'm not happy with this darkness that I built up. I'm going to go in with, every time I lift it it's a problem, with the shade here, right here, which is like a greeny brown, to see if I can deepen a little bit more, and I cannot. Yeah, so this brings me to the fact that, to be honest, if I am doing my makeup on a day that I actually need to get somewhere, today it's just a mama day, so the kids are sleeping and I have time to do my makeup and film. This is just frustrating me so much, especially out right here. It's not building, it's not blending, it just looks patchy. It makes me want to throw the palette. Let's apply a shimmer on here, the shade Lime, which is also one that was in the Wilderness palette, and that is so beautiful. Look at that, so impactful, just dry with my finger. I put it a bit too far. That's the problem with small eyes and normal sized fingers, I guess. I always have such a trouble applying eyeshadows with my fingers. This is beautiful. This would be a shade that I'd keep. It reminds me a little bit of something from Melt, or maybe instead of going through dupes now I should just try to dupe it before I declutter it. It's a bit of a pity, and I have tried to remove a shade as soon as I got it, to depot one shade, and I broke it. The mattes are very, what do you call it, fragile. so that's not ideal. But then I was planning on just depotting a few or making even the palette magnetic, and then it would have indeed broken down, and that's not ideal. Let's see if I can fix this crease. But I'm still with that eucalyptus shade because I don't really have any more options in between. I hate it. Okay, it's really making me want to declutter it. Or at least use every single shade in the palette and decide which ones to keep. Let's move on for now. And I'm going to be using my Eavesdrops by Fenty Beauty. I like this a lot, and actually the only thing that I don't like about this is the shade match. I don't know, it's not super flattering on my skin. Maybe it's a little bit too neutral, or maybe it's a little bit too light, but it's not the perfect shade match for me. So I'm thinking, if I am going to a country with a Sephora this summer, so Italy probably, if I'm going on holiday at all, I might get the shade Up, which has a warm undertone, which is shade 7, I believe, and see if I can get along with it a little bit better than 5. But I do really like the way it wears. I like the effect on the skin. I do prefer to apply it with my fingers. It gives me the best finish, because I find with the brush I get still like a bit of brush streaks. And with a damp sponge, I didn't even try, because such a light coverage skin tint would just disappear. But this is like the perfect coverage for me, the perfect amount of coverage. Maybe I'd want to cover my redness on my cheeks a little bit more, but then I'm just gonna apply a little bit more here and even go in with my concealer. For my concealer, it's nothing old, but I am actually going to hammer on with the Huda Beautiful Filter Concealer. If you followed any of my recent Get Ready With Me's, I bought this concealer, and I was hoping it would be not so drying on my under eyes. And the thing I have not tried yet, because I am a lazy person, I have not tried a wet sponge. So today I wet my sponge, which I haven't done in, I don't know, forever, and I wanted to see if that improves the performance of it on my under eye, because it could be too dry, because I don't know, I either apply too much or it just needs a different mode of application, and it just settled into my lines a bit too much for my liking, and it emphasizes them instead of blurring them out and making them more invisible. Right off the bat, I do like how it applies with a sponge, better than with a brush, but I need to do a real like close-up to see how it's looking under my eyes. I don't know, to me, like here it looks really drying. It looks really drying. I don't know. For powder, I'm going to be using the Pat McGrath under eye powder for my under eye. Shocker, I know. And I'm actually going to bring it to my T-zone as well. And I still haven't understood this powder, so I keep using it until I understand it. How do we like the base? Now moving on to some more Shop My Stash. I wanted to pull out, because I haven't used it, my NARS cream bronzer. I haven't heard anyone talk about this for some time, and especially, brush hair, especially ever since they came out with the with this in the permanent line. This, the one I got, which has the golden lid, this one right here, I'm dropping everything, is it was a limited edition for holiday 2 years ago, I want to say, and since then it was such a success, it sold out immediately. Since then it came out in the permanent line, which with much more shades, which is really nice. At the beginning they had only Laguna and Casino, and now I guess they have Laguna 1, 2, whatever numbers. And I have the original Laguna, which is now Laguna number 2. And I like it. It's a little bit darker than the Chanel. It has a different undertone than the Chanel, but it blends into the skin. It doesn't look like you have makeup at all. I really don't think you can tell on my skin that I have makeup on. So really like it. Happy to have to use it a little bit more. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Vive Skin Dew. It's been a while and I haven't used it for some time, and I want to just give it another try. This one I had bought in my cream highlighter craze sometime in like middle of last year, I guess. Because this one has a more golden sheen compared to the Hollywood Flawless Filter or the Auric Glow Lust. It's a similar product, but this one is a more golden in the sheen, whereas the other two are definitely more cool toned in the sheen. And I like golden shine more than anything else. And again, I go back and see my redness after I apply a cream highlighter, but the effect on the cheek is so beautiful. And actually this one has a little bit of a how do you say it, it looks a little bit more textured compared to the other two I mentioned, Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter and the Glowless by Auric, but not that much. Like, it still looks really good, but it looks a little bit more makeup and less glowy skincare type of glow. For blush, I have a ton. You've seen my videos. I have a ton of blush, but one that I haven't used in a long time is the Nabla 2 Reasons. I have the shade Flush Terracotta, obviously, and this one is another product that has always been a very second skin type of texture. It really disappears. On the one hand, it's probably the matte or demi-matte finish of it, and the fact that it's a cream. So a matte powder, you see, because it's a powder, a glowy cream you see because it's unnaturally glowy, I guess, on a part of the skin that is usually not that glowy. If you're glowing in the center of your face, you can think, oh, it's just natural oils, but most people are not glowy on the back of their cheeks. And this one has this demi-matte satin finish that looks really beautiful and healthy and extremely natural on the skin. The color, depending on how much you put, like me, it can look like you have a lot on your skin. But on the other hand, it can also, if you put less of it, it can also just look like a flush. I really like it. It has been a while since I've used it, so I'm very happy about that. Let's finish these eyes. I'm going to take the shade Corduroy, which is one of my favorites from the palette. It's this more yellow toned green that is more unique, I feel like. It might be one of the shades that I would keep. On my lower lash line. My inner corner, I'm going to put the shade Ray, which was also in the Wilderness palette. And it's this greeny gold duochrome. That is very pretty. What I'm noticing actually is that the shimmer on my lid has already dimmed down. It's already not that impressive anymore. So let me take some Fix Plus and a brush and see if I can get a little bit more impact out of this shadow. You can see it looks really good at first application, also with my fingers. But it kind of dulled down or faded already in the 10 minutes that I'm doing the rest of my makeup. See, this is again brighter. I'll put some Fix Plus on my detail brush for my inner corner as well and apply that Ray color again because I want it a little bit brighter. And these are the eyes. Nothing new or old for brows because I am in a good point where I pretty much only have brow products that I use up and then move on to the next ones. Except for that Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade that I showed you in my haul and retrospect that is unopened and bought 1 year ago. That haul and retrospect really triggered me to think a little bit more of the products I have and use them. But my heart lies on these Lime Crime brow products. I am so happy with them. They make brows so effortless, natural looking, but yet filled in. And also for me, I need a little bit more warmth in my, or more red tones in my brows because I dye my hair. And this one delivers on the red tones, auburn red tones, let's say, and the coverage. Mascara primer is a throwback because it is discontinued, but I'm still going with it because it's still fine. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Primer. I have the new one ready to go, but I'm not going to open it until this one is finished. And sometimes I feel bad about that. I like about, oh, I should try new products more often. But especially in categories like brows, mascaras, I really want to just finish products and not have a lot of these open because they take me also a long time to use up, especially brow products. Brow gels or so take me a long time to use up. And let's not talk about a brow pomade. That takes years of dedicated use and a lot of time to do it. But on the other hand, a normal consumer, which I am because I do YouTube as a hobby, a normal consumer does not have 100,000 brow products open and just uses them and finishes them. And it's this little thing of a difference between, are you a YouTuber more regularly? Do you try new things all the time? Because that is often what is the most clicked items on YouTube. Clicked videos are trying new products, because people want to know, me included, if they're good, should I buy them, things like that. So it helps for others to be a more conscious consumer if you, and in case this case me, consume a lot. That doesn't work out very well for me in the sense that I have a lot of makeup and a lot of stuff and I try a lot of stuff. But what am I going to do with it? I'm never going to finish it. I don't know. It's a difficult, complex situation. On my lips, another Shop My Stash item is this Romance Glassing Water Tint. I have the shade number 5 Rose Splash. And this was sent to me, or I could choose it, from YESSTYLE some time ago. And it is now gaining a lot of more traction. The brand especially is expanding in Europe. I saw a lot of more retailers having these available. These are amazing. These are lip tints that actually tint in the shade that they are and not in the usual pink. They're different pigments, probably, different chemistry to the normal lip tints. And these glassing water tints by Romance are extremely shiny and comfortable, which I really like. I have applied now 2 layers because you can apply it quite sheerly in the first layer, but you can also layer it up, as you can see. And it is just a very, very pretty spring shade. I may or may not, actually I have, placed a huge YESSTYLE order and ordered quite a few of these and a bit of different formulas of tints from Romance. And I'm going to show you when they get here. It's going to take a while from YESSTYLE. They are a retailer that ships from Asia to all over the world. And yeah, when it gets here, I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'm going to start testing the different formulas of the Romance lip tints, because these give you the comfort of a gloss or tinted lip oil, but then they will leave color behind. Now it is 10 o'clock in the morning for me, so I'm gonna come and check back in with you to show you the lip. I'm gonna be drinking tea, probably having lunch eventually, and I'm gonna show you how it looks like after that and how the tint develops. It's not gonna be long-lasting liquid lipsticks, but it is going to give you beautiful, shiny, glossy color at the beginning, and then it's going to leave you with a tint. And actually, I had tested out the color on my hand. You can, I removed it immediately, and you can see that it had already tinted my arm. So we're gonna see each other in a little bit, but in the meantime, this is the finished look today, and I really want to discuss the earthy palette in the comments. Please help me. I'm gonna go on Instagram and ask your help there as well. So the decision will be democratically spread between my two biggest social media or channels. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you with a wear test in a moment. Here's a quick check-in for the lip tint. This is now 3 hours after application, and I have only eaten an apple, and this is how it looks when the shine is gone and only the lip tint is left. The color is pretty much the same, and it feels like I have nothing on. I would probably apply a lip balm now, not because the tint is drying my lips out, but just because I like the feeling of more moisturized lips. And I'm not going to for now, so that I can have lunch and then show you what it does after lunch, and then close this wear test, because that was not the point of the video. Here we are for the final check-in. It's an hour later. I had lunch, and this is how the tint lasts. It's gonna weigh quite a lot on my upper lip, and I would now reapply, but to be honest, it still looks okay. And for such a emollient and yeah, just very comfortable to wear product, I'm very happy with the lasting power. And yeah, just wanted to let you know. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.